That is a big win for Abed. He's going to feel a lot safer. Yapzor obviously having to use his other counter there for the Observer Ward earlier. We are going to have our first sleep and arrow combination on Kezu, and that is going to be a long one too. Looks like he is very, very dead. They don't manage to give the first blood over to Abed, which would have been incredibly helpful. Both the experience as well as the extra gold. As you can see, he had an early Roshan attempt by Execration.
Yeah, that's what you're saying. Completely agree. I think that Abed's play was okay if his team was going to be ready to defend that mid tower, but because they weren't, the main reason why that looks a little bit off. Because Execration, that top tower died, what, 10 seconds later? It didn't mean anything. Instead, they lost an Invoker in a tower mid for no reason. But
a small mistake, but an opportunity for Execration.
They got to get out of here.
Oh no, they're not going to be able to get this one. And now the toss in, Koifa going to land straight onto Tims. Tims does his best to stop the progress of Escape, but they're going to be able to get 1 and 2 on the slash up to the high ground, back down from Koifa as Era searches for more. Managed to get the toss onto RR, takes him down. 3 heroes gone from Execration, and a very low Roshan with amplified damage on it. Escape will try and take that one, but thank you very much. But RR, he's already bought back, and he is going to try and make sure that Escape cannot take that free Aegis for themselves. Execration still need another 10 seconds though, and Era, he may have just found the opening to be able to grab Abed to get the spin over the top as well, and a quick smack to the face. Era takes out the Grand Magus. Now Execration are once again left with a 4 versus 5 scenario, but still holding on to that Roshan, putting everything they have to make sure that Escape can't grab this Aegis for themselves. Perhaps too much of a tempo swing. They don't want to let this go into their hands. The arrow goes out, not going to land. Meanwhile, the initiation comes out once again from Escape. They get a dunk onto the Bane and they're going to look for more. The counter ward gets laid out. Moonlight Shadow, Nando thought he was invis, thought he wasn't being seen as he tried to sneak his way in. Actually gets spotted, but still managed to get the leap out. RR bounced back and will be taking a lot of damage from the flame break, but it's not quite enough. Gets himself away. Era actually gets taken out with a double damage to amplify damage, but Nando right in the middle of a sea of Escape Gaming members will fall, and Tims couldn't make the escape either. Pops his ultimate, tries to get what damage he can, but Execration was defending Roshan really worth all this mess?
Definitely not, and I think there was a serious lack of communication there because the Slardar immediately bought back, but you saw that the Miranda made no commitment to go down to that area. She even goes to that top room before. They could have just waited for him to revive, and they would have had enough time, but
early on in the game we are, and it may get even worse. Execration are going to go for round 2 here of smoke and attempt to go for Roshan. Now, they're not going straight to the Roshan pit. They're going to wrap around, go through the Radiant jungle, and see what they clash with. But Escape, they're actually ready for them. This is all about the Blink Daggers. Arcane Rune managed to get the Blink out ahead of Tims. Tims still managed to get a good kick and a silence combination, but they're stopped by the smoke cloud. Now the Omni Slash goes down, and one is done. Avalanche, Nori on the mark. Kimmo's going to be taken out as well. Couldn't get the Fiend's Grip in. Koifa not going to be taken out as the Shalgrave comes out just in time. Sunstrike is on the mark, but Shalgrave is still there to save him. Execration, another defeat and full out retreat from the Southeast Asians as they're not going to be able to make it away. Nando, the only one to hide himself in the trees, has to take a timeout for 10 seconds while he waits for his TP scroll, but he may not even make it away. Nando managed to get the arrow onto Era, but Era, he survives through all of it, gets combo, and they wipe Execration 14-7. Not so long ago, it was 6-7.
It's going to feel pretty bleak for them.
Yeah.
But picking up a kill like the Jug or the Tiny is really going to set their minds right again, but
you could see Execration. They wanted Koifa. They wanted him real bad. They wanted him to show up in the mid lane next to his tier 2, pushing, or maybe if the top lane, get the free pick off.
They need heroes here sooner.
They're actually
way too much damage already.
Hero comes out. Koifa will manage to get the spin out. You can see you can't leave this Tiny, especially now that he has the Aghanims with the armlet. He's taken the tower down pretty quickly. Koifa will manage to get the first staff as well as the Shallow Grave save. He starts backing himself away and will be able to heal himself up and escape, I believe, that they don't need to make a full retreat here. In fact, they can actually go back in a second. Oh, Jesus! Era takes the whole 1-2 punch and takes out Kimmo, making this defense now a 4 versus 5 for Execration. And Kezu, he's looking for a second hero, makes his initiation, but the roll-in is already there. They manage to pop Koifa. Now the pushback on Era as well. They might just be able to take out this Aegis, but not before Era slays this Slardar. In the background, though, Tims is doing what damage he can to the rest of the back line, making sure there is space for Execration to try and take out Era in round 2. Nando actually ignores that one, blinks forward, and manages to get a double there as he picks up both the Bat Rider as well as the Dazzle, and now they go onto Era with the smoke screen, trying to lead a little bit of space, but it's not quite enough. Execration have done it with a triple kill on Nando. They hold against Escape Gaming, not losing their racks just yet.
What just happened?
They did it! You said they were going to be put to the test, Abed especially, but Execration as a whole managed to get the execution.
This Invoker's just going to continue to stack up the farm. His Midas is going to pay off. Escape, though, they still have that gem. That was the huge thing, is that they didn't lose their gem right there. And now they're going to make their move out.
Plus smoke, but Koifa is going to be spotted here, and they manage to get the stun, the kick. Oh, a little bit of save there. The arrow comes in, nails Yaptor, but he managed to get off the smoke screen, but it's not enough. Koifa's down. Arrow with the response, though, goes for Camo, gets him. Yaptor about to die, but gets off his ultimate just in time, and Era is cleaving through heroes left and right, but it may not be enough. Nando stuck inside the trees, trying to make his way out, will be able to get the lead, but now he's on the cliff. No, Nando, that's not where you want to be. He gets the arrow out. Abed sitting there in the back, not knowing what he could do to save poor Nando. He can't do anything. Nando will fall, throws out the Sunstrike, but doesn't manage to nail Era, who he was really looking for. The 1 for 4, it started off so good. Oh, well, it looks like they're just going to run straight at him. Now, Escape are actually doing something quite similar here.
Oh, they're going to wrap. I really like this.
They're fully going to wrap into the secret shop area, and just like that, Execration have given up their high ground advantage, and Escape will be able to find the jump in first, but the Lincolns came in. Abed not going to be jumped on, but now the combination comes in. Era as well as the blink in. Koifa managed to get off the Omni Slash, 2 down already, and Escape looking for the cleanup. Tims, he's going to be the target. He managed to get the kickoff, but unlikely to get a roll away, just doesn't have the time in the world to be able to get out. Escape, that was an opening for them originally to perhaps take Roshan and an Aegis, but there's no need. Oh, wow, Nando managed to find that one pick off, but Escape, they're like, okay, we lost Koifa, doesn't matter. Era is still the big carry right now, and we still can go high ground here and take ourselves a Rax. Blink in, Nando looking for some damage, pops the BKB just in time ahead of that avalanche, but our poor Slardar doesn't stand a chance. Era is just too damn big, too farmed, and will be able to take out the full lane of Rax.
And the Roshan's going to follow shortly after, and Execration, they had to contest that Roshan, but we just don't really have the resources anymore.
In an awkward position, he's going to try and go back in, trying to draw Era away from those Raxes. Pops his BKB, fights Kezu, but Era, realizing that it's all just a distraction, goes for the objectives. It's going to be nailed by the Sunstrike, takes a little bit of cold snap damage as well as the Starstorm. The push forward, though, Nando banks a Riki Invis as he flies in from the sky. Koifa,
that healing ward, they've got to do something about it.
They just can't do anything. Inside the ground, spinning away like a mole, will be able to take away the melee Rax, and that is 2 Raxes down for Execration.
That looks so ridiculous.
Apparently, I think that's what Koifa paused for, but poor observers, as well as ourselves, are going to have to deal with our Juggernaut half-man mole.
It was a good decision, though, to only give up that 1 set of racks. I'm glad that Execration didn't hard commit to it too much, just because that fight was going to be so difficult with that Aegis on that Tiny. And more importantly, when they lost their 2 initiating heroes off the bat, there was almost nothing that they could do. Yeah. You saw that Nando decided he was going to try to pull heroes away and just create a nuisance and buy as much time and space as possible, which is what he needs to do. Separate the team as much as you possibly can, but they weren't able to find an opening as Escape finally just said, screw this, we're going to ignore you now and just continue to hit your racks, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
That healing ward.
We've seen this a couple times, the Mirana picking up the Ethereal Blade, maxing out that that magic damage. Still outputs a good amount of physical damage as well, thanks in part to the agility of Ethereal Blade as well as the amp damage. But this is going to be the fight. Execration desperately needs to be
Weaver ready. They can sense this.
Already out. They're smoked pops. And now some of the heroes revealed. Execration. Tim's going to be the first one jumped on. Slithering Crush comes in. Tims will be able to get off a couple abilities before he falls, but Nando's locked in by the lasso. Plus the Omni Slash. Nando gets the BKB off. Tries to go for the pop on Kezu. Not enough damage. And it's poor Abed who lays the victim there as Escape turned towards him as Nando goes that magic invulnerability. Able to TP himself away, but it is very clearly a victory for Escape and probably the last nail in the coffin for Execration here in game number 1.
Yeah, because of that pushed out top lane, they read that situation perfectly. Cinderin throws down that weave just out of caution onto his own team. They run into each other. Almost nothing they can
Crush
do.
into Arrow, trying to get as much magic damage, but it only brings him down to his liver. It's still not enough. He survives with the Sunstrike, and now Execration are fully committed to kill that hero, and they didn't get him. Backing themselves away, Nando will be able to survive. Abed jumps forward, trying to slow down Era as best as possible, throwing down the EMP as well. Era blinks back. And with Execration, the rest of heroes now reviving in a full 5 versus 5 on the table, Escape are not going to take that risk and back themselves away, waiting for a better opportunity.
Yeah, Escape, they've got a lot to play for, obviously. They win this one, just one game away from getting into TI. So they're going to take things slow. Can't blame them at all. Can probably even wait for the next Roshan if they're worried about this jug being popped.
Koifa runs into Nando here. Still does not have the Omni Slash, nor does he have a quick way to be able to... Oh, Nando! He didn't expect Air to be here as well, and... Oh, wanted to see... It's popped just like that, 80 seconds, no buyback whatsoever, and Execration, some of the rest of them are still being spotted here. Yapzor is going to slow down Tims, will be able to get the smoke screen out, yet another kill potentially. Abed is going to try and get as much damage, but there is the ults coming out from the Riki. Meanwhile, Slither Crush goes down, trying to stop the Juggernaut. The rest of Escape Gaming push forward, knowing that without the Mirana, they're locking a lot of damage, but still, Abed pushes some of them back. Era almost getting caught by the Fiend's grip there of Kimmo, but he thinks twice about that one.
Now they're just going to start this relentless push, trying to go for the mega creeps. They know at this point if the Mirana had buyback, she would have used it by now.
Jump in, melee racks with only a little bit of HP left. Tims tries to go for the initiation. They managed to get the Fiend's grip on Era, but he got the BKB off first, and Kimmo pays with his life for being able to get that slight hold on the Tiny, and the rest of the Execration fall. Just like that, ending with Era splitting the Invoker in twain. 41-14 is our end score. Very well played by Escape Gaming. You said they played a very clean game. They managed to get the landing phase went well for Execration, but once Escape got that multiple fights around Roshan, they secured themselves the lead. They just kind of grew it over time.